Hello and welcome to episode 26 of the Console Space Podcast. The podcast where we get together and talk about what's going on in the console space. I'm your host, Sean Colangelo, joined as always by the one and only John Jables, Jingleheimer reporter. How's it going, JP?
It's going good, Sean.
Also joined by the raddest dad you wish you had, Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee Kettlewell.
No, that's not my name.
Robert Lee Kettlewell. How's it going?
I'm doing great, Sean.
I always mess that up.
Let's mess up that whole middle part.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's say we're having technical difficulties, so the audio might not be that great.
Our mics are not working right now, so that's why we're yelling at you.
You like it.
Jables, what are you playing?
I played 2 games that you let me borrow.
Old school.
We talked about them a little bit on the last podcast, but what's Urguys? Is it? I don't know how to pronounce it, but
I think that's right.
the fighting game has a couple Final Fantasy characters in it. Cloud and Sephiroth are in it, but it was pretty interesting. The fighting portion of it was like, it's weird. It's like it puts you in this menu as soon as you start the game, and then you can go to like the arcade game, which was the fighting game, or you can go to this new quest mode that they put in for, I assume, for the PlayStation. And the fighting game was interesting. It's almost like a wrestling type layout. It's weird, like the way you move around.
Yeah, there's a lot of grappling.
Yeah. And so it's interesting. But the quest mode, I actually had some fun with that. It's weird. It's like you have 2 characters. It has like nothing to do with like the fighting portion. You have like 2 characters, and it's basically like a dungeon crawler. And
Yeah, I was hoping that you did try that out.
Yeah. I kind of like that. It was weird. Basically, you have one character. You start with one character. You go down into this dungeon. Each level down that you go, it gets harder. If you die, then you have to use your other character to go save the first character. So it makes sense to like go a couple levels down, bring stuff back up, and take the other character because you level up, you get experience, and it's more in depth than I thought it would be. It's cool. There's stuff you find. There's like food and stuff you find in the dungeon. And I don't know if you saw that, but like you pick up grass and it'll say like this has whatever nutrients in it, and this other thing has calcium in it, and like depending on what you eat, there's like this graph that you can look at, and that affects how you level up.
Huh.
So if you ate a lot of protein or whatever, you're gonna get stronger, but if you ate a lot of whatever, you might get more magic ability or whatever it is. But it's interesting.
The bone broth.
It's really old school, but it was fun.
I mean, honestly, it's just cool that that game even has that mode at all.
Yeah.
Because like even without that mode, it would be a pretty like just good fighting game, and then that added in, that's a good value.
It's a deal.
It's steal the deal.
Steal the deal.
Now, speaking of steals of deals, this has nothing to do with those, but Rob, I heard you beat The Last of Us.
Ooh, I did. It only took me like 17 hours.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Really good.
Yeah, so I mean, what was your overall
Ooh.
impression, I guess?
It was really good. It was the best game I ever played.
There you have
High
it.
praise.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Straight from Rob's mouth.
A lot of people said that for a reason, though.
Yeah.
So.
I would like to play the remastered version, like, eventually, because I think there were, like, some glitches in the AI. Like,
Sure.
the AI was really good, but there were still, like, some glitches in it.
It's kind of amazing that the PS3 could even run that game.
I was amazed by what it was doing.
Yeah.
Because going from playing, like, Red Dead, which was a great game, but there was, like, a lot of, like, empty space in it. The PlayStation was having a hard time running that game.
Yeah.
And then I played The Last of Us, I was like, I don't understand how this is happening.
Now, did you happen to check at all if the servers are still up?
No, I was going to. Actually, after I beat the game, I was, because in the main menu it had, like, the DLC but I don't remember what it was called. It was like Left Behind or something, which was like Ellie and like her friend or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, great, like I have like another like 4 or 5 hours of content to play, and then I clicked on it. It was like, ooh, $10, and I was like, hard pass. So I was like, I'm not paying for that.
Yeah.
For a game that came out like 5 years ago.
Well,
yeah, the remastered version has it with it, right?
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you could probably get the remastered version now between 10, $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the price of that DLC, you could probably get the remastered version of the game.
And the remastered online servers, I assume, are still up and running.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, that game is actually a very good online game.
Really?
I've been saying for years, Naughty Dog actually makes pretty good multiplayer, like all the way back to Uncharted 2. They've actually made some kind of like sneaky good like online games. They just don't get really. They're not as much in the limelight because you know it's not COD and things like that. But they're The Last of Us. Me and a couple of friends back when it came out, I dumped about 8 days into the online of that game. It is very tactical. It's a lot of fun, and I would check it out for sure. So.
There were like parts of the game, I think it was like the basement in Pittsburgh, where like
It's terrifying.
Yeah, that was the worst part of the game. But like with what the game allowed you to do, like from like a tactical like point of view, like where you could place like nail bombs and stuff. I think I was like got to the point where I was expecting to be able to do like too much. Like I was like thinking this out. I was like, I'm gonna put nail bombs here and then a smoke bomb and then I'm gonna like use a flamethrower or something. But then like I like couldn't beat this level and then I watched the video and it was like, yeah, you just have to run away. And I was like, okay, I was expecting too much.
Yeah.
No, dude, I did the same thing when I played it. I was like trying to set up a way where I'd be able to kill like all those clickers in that basement, and it was like actually basically just like get their attention, like make them run toward you, and then just take off.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
like,
it was way easier.
I think it was the bloaters in the basement that I kept running into, and I tried to keep killing them, and then it was just like, no, you have to run away.
Yeah, the thing is, like, if there were one of them down there, you could probably pull it off, but I think there might be 2 or 3. It's not happening.
There's the one that comes up from the bottom of the basement, and then once you start running towards the door, there's another one waiting for you by the door that you just run by.
Yep.
Yeah. And I played the game on normal. And I appreciated, because I used a lot of ammo. Like, I like strangled people and did stuff like that in the game. But I think the game was like calculating how much ammo I was using and then like respawning it. And I appreciated that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm glad you finally played it. And
it was really good.
We were talking last night, we were hanging out, and I think you said that you hadn't really seen the gameplay footage of the sequel.
No.
And we'll watch that after we film this because it looks amazing. So
awesome. What have you been playing, Sean?
No, I can't stop yelling until I talk! First off, I want to mention, I believe this is the second straight episode that I've worn a Penguin shirt. And I'm just excited for hockey. Dude, training camp started like a couple days ago. I'm just ready. So I just want to just put that out there.
All right.
Have
you been training yourself, like alongside?
I'm trying to.
Sean's been doing like the exercises with the remote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like the end of SpongeBob. 1, 2.
Give me 20 more.
What's carburation? I have been playing. Still playing Zelda. I actually beat the last Divine Beast for me.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to take on Ganon. I could go.
Finally.
I could go and kill him now.
Yeah.
If I wanted. Trust me.
Really
Like,
That's what they all
could,
say.
If you really
I could just
they all
end
say.
his shitty existence.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting, and I'll tell you why. So currently, I have the full set of the Barbarian armor, which is like the second best armor in the game, right? As far as I know, the best armor in the game is the Ancient Armor set. And
sounds pretty cool.
it is cool. I have 2 pieces of it almost all the way upgraded, and a third one about the same. The problem is to upgrade them each to the last, stage or whatever.
Right.
You need a star fragment. Did you hear star fragments while you were playing that game?
Yes, I know a little bit about it. Don't they like actually fall from like the sky?
They're pretty much just shooting stars.
Is it
Okay.
a fragment of a star?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
They're pretty much just shooting stars. They only fall between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. in game time. And you pretty much just have to climb on top of a mountain and look around and hope that you see one.
Yeah.
And not only that, but then you have to track where it lands and then get to it before 5 a.m.
When it
or it despawns. And so that's a little bit of a pain in the ass, as you can imagine.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to craft that set before I go take on Ganon. I don't really need it, but like I just want to have the best armor before I effectively end the game. I've kind of tailed off a little bit on Shenmue. I mean, it's just been getting harder to slog through that game. There's just so much dialogue, and like it's a good story, but I'm just like, I just like kind of want it to be done. I'm like, I don't think I'm too far from the end of it, but I randomly started playing the first Darksiders game.
Oh, okay.
You guys ever played Darksiders
No.
at all?
Never played it.
One of the many franchises of games that I'm like, that looks really cool, and I'd probably like it. I just never really tried it out. And I got the remastered version for like $2 a couple of months ago, like that cheap. Finally booted it up. Very God of War. It's like it plays very much like God of War. Pretty good game so far. I'm not like blown away by any means, but still, it's got me interested in the franchise where I'm gonna play 2 as well. And 3 is actually coming out in I think like 2 months.
Yeah. If
So
I remember correctly, I think people were disappointed with 2, but I don't. That's all I know about it.
yeah, I've heard as well that many people prefer 1. I haven't played the second one. So in the first game, you play as the Horseman Death, or no, War. I'm sorry. And then the second one, you play as the Horseman Death.
Okay.
And apparently in the third one, you're playing as the sister of them, Fury.
Okay.
Presumably because it would probably be weird to play as the other 2, which are Famine and something else.
Like pestilence.
Yeah. I mean, that's not as cool as playing as War and Death, obviously. So, like, I think they were kind of like, what do we do here? Okay, Fury. So, whatever. I don't know. But again, they are, like, interesting, solid enough games to where I don't mind playing through them. Not games I have to go out and have day 1 or anything like that, but, whatever. So, and that's pretty much it. I was talking to Todd. If you don't know who Todd is, go watch Game Day Gameplay, sports segment of Console Space. Todd is a really big superhero guy, so he went out and got Spider-Man Day 1.
Right.
He already beat it.
Nice.
Like that weekend, pretty much. He said it's phenomenal. I am looking forward to Spider-Man. I'm just not as huge of a fan. And I decided to hold off because I'm dropping $100 next month on the Ultimate, Red Dead Ultimate Edition.
Oh, okay.
I'm dropping roughly 100 more in November between Spyro and Pokemon. I'm dropping 140 in December on the Smash Bros. Bundle.
You know you're gonna have to get Fallout.
Yeah, but see, that's my thing. Is like, like that game and Spider-Man. I'm just gonna wait like till they're cheaper. I'm hoping I can get them cheaper on like Black Friday or something like that.
I don't know. I think that's gonna be too close to Fallout's release.
Dude, that's what I thought about Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Origins came out in like October.
Yeah.
And then a month later on Black Friday it was $30. So it could happen.
That's
just saying.
Good deal.
I mean,
It's a good deal.
probably not with Fallout, but I'm just saying.
I feel like Fallout's like GTA, where they're just like,
No.
yeah, they're just like, no,
Yeah.
you're paying $60.
Yeah.
So, but hey, I'll get there. Speaking of Fallout, that ties into our first topic today. I want to keep this one somewhat brief. So I kind of haven't been wanting to talk about this because I'm just sick of it. But I think it was like maybe roughly a month ago, there was kind of a new twist in the whole cross-play ongoing fiasco thing, and that is Bethesda. I'll just bring this up. This was a report by IGN. Bethesda says it's absolutely critical that Sony allows cross-play for the Elder Scrolls Legends, which I think is some kind of like card game.
Yes.
Okay. Bethesda Softworks is pressuring Sony to change its much maligned ban on crossplay, but not for its tentpole holiday release, which is Fallout 76. Now, here's the interesting thing: they're not doing it with Fallout 76.
Right.
Gee, I wonder why. But now they're trying to threaten them by saying that they're not going to release this card game if they don't implement crossplay. While it would be nice to have crossplay on Fallout 76, said Bethesda Senior Vice President of Marketing and Communications Pete Hines, it's okay if that's not possible. But for Legends, it's absolutely critical, Hines continued, that both crossplay, which is how Legends works right now on every device, playing against somebody who could be on any device, and more importantly, cross-platform progression means no matter what you do on any platform, you load up the game, and so long as you're logged in, here is all your progression, here is everything you had, everything you're... Dude, no one cares. As was pointed out to Hines in the interview, Fortnite, unquestionably the largest game in the world at the moment, suffers from this very problem with crossplay thanks to Sony. PS4 Fortnite players are walled off from those on other platforms who can play together and perhaps more importantly transfer their in-game progress to other platforms. I'm not going to read this whole thing yet.
Right, let's talk about that.
So, I don't know. One of the reasons I wanted Rob to be here for this topic because he's kind of like our resident mind of business. Yes. So again, I'm sick of this whole thing. I'm sick of talking about it, which is why I kind of held off. But once it's now to the point where this big third-party dev is almost kind of threatening Sony, I just figured we should at least kind of touch base on it. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Lay it on me.
You want to go first, Rob?
I'll go first.
All right.
I think Sony's gonna get their way on this because they don't have to do anything.
Kind of how I feel. Yeah.
I think Bethesda, they're like threatening. They're not threatening them with like a big game, like Fallout or something. They're threatening them with like a card game that. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be like popular, but it's not gonna be like.
It's not gonna be Fallout popular.
It's not Fallout popular.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much like threatening Sony with a game that it doesn't really matter what Sony does. But I think Bethesda's using it as like a pawn to like try and open the door for crossplay for like future games.
Mm-hmm.
But Sony's not gonna bite on it.
It seems they've been very. I mean, Sony recently released a statement. I think after that one by Bethesda saying they said that pretty much they think PlayStation is the best place to play, and that's why they just want to keep it that way. I think that's kind of subjective, obviously.
No, Bethesda said that?
No.
Sony
said that,
okay.
like, hey, we have the best platform right now. We think it's the best place to play Fortnite.
Well, I mean, by numbers, that's true.
It is.
But I think Bethesda is making a big deal out of this game because the consequences of it are so low.
Right.
And I think it's more of just like a conversation starter. Like, they're not gonna like pick this hill to die on, but they just want people talking about it. So like, if they do it again for like a bigger game, people will be like, well, they already tried this with another game. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. James?
I can see both sides of it. I think I do agree. Yeah, it seems to be clear that Bethesda's using that game because it's not nearly as big of a deal as if they did it with Fallout and Sony was like no, then they'd have to be like I guess we won't sell Fallout on the most popular console
like
right now.
85 million units.
Yeah, they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, like I said, I see both sides. I think Sony is being, business-wise, I think it makes sense. They don't want one of the most important things about, selling a console is the exclusives. What's exclusive to that console? Because if there wasn't anything exclusive to a console, a lot of people would just buy a PC and be done with it.
Right.
Honestly, yeah.
So it makes sense that they would not want to loosen that grip on their on exclusive content, whether it be a game or just being able to play on their servers or whatever. But I think that everyone else going for it and being cool with crossplay, I think it's hit a point where PR wise, I think it's making them look really dumb to be like, well, if you play Fortnite on our console, you can't play it anywhere else. You can't play it anywhere else.
Right.
If you sign in on PS4, you can't sign in on anything else with that account. You gotta make a new account. And they're the only console that's doing that right now, and it doesn't really make any sense. And yeah, with one thing I do see, like with Bethesda using that card game, is that's going to be something that's on mobile, that's on everything that they want to have. I think they see Fallout as like, well, it's just like any other game. You buy it on PlayStation, you play it on PlayStation, you buy it on Xbox, that's where you play it. And if they want to do crossplay, it's cool. But with the card game, it's like they just want to make sure that it's like it's just something that works easily between wherever you log in. You should be able to get your stuff and everything transfer. But yeah.
Well,
so I guess that's what I'm saying. I see both sides. I think at this point it would make sense for Sony to finally just say, okay, sure, we'll do crossplay. I think it makes it's going to make more people happy in the end than it's. I think it's going to be less worth it for them to hold out at this point, in my opinion. But that's just the way I see it. Maybe they're making more money by doing that, but I feel like at this point, people are just going to start getting mad and not support what they're doing.
I will say, I see the argument about the card game, but isn't a big thing that they've been trying to push regarding Fallout 76 is the whole shared.
I know that is an intention to have a bigger game with crossplay as well, because I'm sure it probably benefits the developers to get some kind of sign-on bonus with I guess if it was an exclusive game, it would be exclusive regardless. But either way, I guess what I'm saying is the card game, you're probably not going to own more than one copy of Fallout 76, no matter what. If you buy it for PlayStation, you're going to be playing it on there. So if there's not cross-play, there's just less people to play with. With the card game, you might have it on your phone, and you might have it on the PlayStation, and you might have it on your computer or something else. So it would be easier, and it would make more sense for that game to be able to communicate with other platforms.
Yeah.
With Fallout, it would be cool if it had it, but if it doesn't, you're not going to be switching back and forth with that one anyway.
Well, I think it's definitely Bethesda looking, 5 to 10 years away.
Yeah.
Because they said that what they're doing with the new Fallout, with like the shared like story experiences, what they're moving towards with like all their games, and I think that them pushing for crossplay now, like, and seeing what they're doing with Fallout, like, it doesn't take much to connect the dots and be like, well, this is where they want to go.
Right.
And is Sony gonna let that happen?
Mm.
And I think since they said that the amount of people you'd be playing with online in Fallout would be anywhere from like a dozen to like 24 people.
Right.
I think it would be hard to argue like not having enough people to play with because there's so few people.
Yeah.
But if they were to do like crossplay with like, I don't know, like a huge like Battlefield game or something like that, where you have like 100+ people in a game,
Right.
And it was crossplay, I think that'd be something different. I don't know.
Yeah, I try to see both sides like I do with really anything. Since there are little spurts of crossplay already happening out there, it does kind of seem to be a natural progression of things, and I do think eventually it's just going to happen. But the other side of it, I don't know. Maybe this is just my perspective on things. Sometimes I feel like it's just people being whiny consumers. Just like, well, we want this, so we just think that it should happen. Like now, like we want crossplay, so just like now. And I'm like, well, I mean, I get it, but like these are huge companies.
You're talking like hundreds of millions of dollars. They're not going to do it just because you're like tweeting
yeah,
about it.
I mean, and plus like, you have to remember that Sony's a Japanese company, and I'm not making excuses for them. It's just like it's a very different culture when it comes to business. Like they've always been kind of arrogant, or at least it seemed very arrogant to us. But a lot of that is just their culture. It's very prideful. Like they are extremely competitive with Nintendo, like in Microsoft. Like they want to beat them. And I think they might see as kind of like opening a gate like that is I guess maybe almost like helping them. And
I think it's one of those things like once you open the bottle, like the genie's out. Like,
yeah.
You can't after like you permit crossplay of all your games. You can't be like no more crossplay.
Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
No.
But it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen this generation.
And I think. And I said this before a long time ago in one of the earlier episodes. I really honestly think that there is a one thing that they're missing, like with this crossplay. Like I feel like their idea of it is like, yeah, well, if we let people have crossplay, they won't need a PlayStation because they can play it online with any console. But I really don't think that would happen this console cycle.
It wouldn't happen right now, no.
Because when I worked at GameStop, anytime that I sold an Xbox to someone, the only thing that convinced that person to buy an Xbox was not Halo.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, if someone was undecided and they came in and they said, which one should I buy? I'd explain everything about each one, and I'd be we're not really supposed to say which one, buy this one because it's the best. But it's like, this one has all these exclusives. It has so many exclusives, they're all right there. This one, has Halo, has that. And they're like, oh, okay, you know what, I think I'm going to buy a PlayStation. Well, can I play... My friend has an Xbox. I can't play stuff with him, can I? No, you can't. Fuck, Mom. I guess I'll just buy an Xbox.
Right.
And that was like, anytime I ever sold an Xbox, it was like, well, my friend has an Xbox, so the only way I can play with him is to buy one. There's multiple times where people will be like, I guess I'll get an Xbox. Because, like, not even joking. They're like, well,
yeah,
I guess I'll just get one of these because like I want to play with my friends. And I just feel like because Sony's a more popular console, if they had crossplay, anyone on the fence like that is going to go for a PlayStation because it just happens to be the more popular thing anyway. Mm-hmm. So if there's not this reason, that's one less reason to buy an Xbox.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what else too? My view is a little skewed because I don't like Bethesda. I just don't like Bethesda. And so like when I see them, I mean, I get they're a big deal, but I'm like, you guys aren't taking on Sony. Like, I hate to break it to you, but that's not going to end well for you. At any rate, it's going to happen sooner or later. I don't think it's going to happen this generation, but probably sometime next generation. Especially because, again, And, you know, it's no secret that I'm a huge fan of Sony, you know, but I'm telling you right now, Microsoft's coming out of the gate in a year or two swinging. Big time. I honestly think they will. I don't think it's going to be as lopsided as this gen has been, but Microsoft is not going to perform as quote unquote poorly as they have against Sony this generation. It's not going to happen. And so I think when the companies are a little more, you know, a little more neck and neck, when they're much closer in sales, I think, you know, I think then you might see, oh, all right, let's do it. But we'll see. That's enough crossplay talk, hopefully for the rest of our lives. But it won't be.
We spent a lot of time on that. This might be a long episode.
I'd say we're about a half an hour in.
I could get real close to the camera and check.
Check it. Check it.
Get it real close over your face.
Check it down.
No, it doesn't say.
Oh,
There's
so
no
you
way
just
of
get it close
knowing.
over your face or no?
It's good. We're just gonna recap the direct. It should,
Real quick.
Real quick.
It should, yeah.
Real quick.
Oh.
Real quick.
1, 2, 3.
Oh god.
Real quick.
I didn't study.
Okay, so Nintendo had a direct last week that was delayed because of an earthquake, but they had it. Luigi's Mansion 3
Luigi's Mansion 3.
coming to Switch.
Coming to Switch.
I'm excited about it. A couple of 3DS games we don't, because who cares?
I care, but I can't read that from here, and I haven't seen the direct yet, so...
I have bad eyes and I haven't watched it. Tell me more.
Okay, Jables, you're gonna like this one. The Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle.
Okay.
It's gonna have a bunch of old school Capcom games.
Like arcade games?
Yeah, like Street of Rage and
Like Street of Rage.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
no, that's
things like
cool.
that. So that's cool. It looks like it says.
Is Streets of Rage Capcom?
I am lying to you. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I know Street Fighter is Capcom. I thought that's what you were going to say.
it features Final Flight, Captain Commando,
Flight.
the King of Dragons, Knights of the Round Table, and Warriors of Fate. Oh, and Armored Warriors and Battle Circuit
Okay.
for only $20.
If you know who made Streets of Rage, like, comment, subscribe.
I have no
I
idea who
forget.
made Streets of Rage.
I forget.
New
I
Super
think it might be
Mario's.
Sega, but I don't know.
You're probably right. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. This is just going to be a like upgraded ports of Super Mario U and Luigi U. So if you haven't played those,
Because no one bought a Wii U.
because
Right.
nobody bought a Wii U. Here's a big one:
Yeah.
Katamari Damacy.
Yeah. Reroll.
Katamari Damacy?
I don't know. Reroll. It is a remaster of the PS2 classic. It's going to feature HD Rumble gyro control. I don't know if that's, but I like gyros.
Euros.
Euros.
Control.
Reroll.
I'm pumped for that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy
I'm
that.
excited for that.
Yeah, I'm still gonna buy that.
I think it's Damacy. I could be
I
wrong.
mean, probably.
I always forget. It's in the song that plays
Oh, is it?
as you're
Okay.
playing, and I always forget.
They did outline their online service, which was kind of comical because they're like, "Hey, like you can save your games in the cloud now," and I'm like, "I've been doing that for 10 years, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Literally for 10 years."
Mhm.
But cool, I guess.
You know, we've invented a new... if you connect 2 wires, you can play with your friends that aren't at your house.
The Sega
Oh.
Dreamcast was doing it 20 years ago.
Oh my god.
Neat. Let's see here.
We included a phone jack.
It's 56.
Okay. Oh. Now here is one thing about their online service that's cool is they're gonna have it so if you do shell out the money from the online service, I think it's like $20 a year, so it's not that bad.
Okay.
But there's gonna be an entire library of NES games you can play,
Okay.
and they're making
Like all of the NES games, or like 5 of the
I
NES
don't
games?
know. They didn't. They're really vague about it,
Okay.
so it's hard to say.
When
But-
they say entire library, they should mean the entire library, because it would be that easy. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know.
An entire library. There's a
An
difference.
entire library.
A library.
Yeah. A custom
A
library that we
so-
built from 5 games.
They are making NES controller Joy-Cons,
Okay.
so you can So you'll be able to play these old school games pretty much like with,
Okay,
you know,
that makes sense.
with the original controller. So that's
Why
kind of cool.
Why don't they just release NES controllers that are just like Bluetooth or whatever that connect?
Well, that's kind of that's.
Well, that'd be so easy for them to do. They can't.
That would make too much sense.
Too much sense. Oh, wait a minute. It actually might list. Oh, it says ice hockey, pro wrestling, and The Legend of Zelda are just some of the 20 NES games that will be available to play at launch.
Okay. Well, at launch, hopefully they'll have more ice hockey, pro wrestling already.
Well, they're not. It's not going to be a WWF game
Yeah.
No,
because they're not allowed to say WWF anymore.
I guess that's very true. There would be a lot of licensing issues with bringing every game legally to the store. Yeah, but so far it's not looking good.
No.
Here's my question: a game like Splatoon 2, which has been out for a while now, and I assume that people have been playing it online this whole time. Now you won't be able to unless you pay? Because that's kind of weird.
Is that what the online service is? Is it like a premium service, or is that just to save your games online?
It says, so if you were excited for that new Splatoon 2 update, get ready to pay up. It actually says that.
Or that's whoever article you wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you read is reading that. Or is, you know what I'm saying. Jesus Christ. Whoever wrote the article worded it that way. But,
yeah, sorry. USgamer.com.
Yeah.
How can
I
you
don't know.
let
I
people
really don't know.
play online and then be like, oh, well, we activated our service now, so you have to pay? That seems really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless there's like some kind of free version of it where you don't get to play the NES games and save games to the cloud. I have no idea.
I don't like it one bit. They showed off a little more of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee/Pikachu. Apparently, they are making it so there are no HMs. So your Eevee or your Pikachu that follows you around is going to learn all those for you.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Pikachu rides a surfboard. You should see how Pikachu flies. It's pretty hilarious.
Really?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of balloons tied to him, and you like float up in the air.
Wow. Okay, so that Pokemon will learn fly and
And so they showed you with Pikachu and like he gets on the surfboard and you surf Pikachu. So
I like that.
Dude, the new Mario Party looks really good.
Yeah,
it looks
good.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see them. It's not like a reboot, kind of like a refresh of the series.
Yeah, because the last
it.
few weren't good.
Yeah.
So.
They did show gameplay of Daemon X Machina. Looks pretty damn good.
Giant mech game looks pretty interesting.
I don't know why I can't get into mech games though.
Really?
Like they always look so cool, and
you play it for like an hour.
the controls don't ever feel right to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you like Zone of the Enders?
I haven't played it yet.
Interesting. Because that one was a little bit different.
Yeah.
Control-wise. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Like, it looks great.
Yeah. Zone of the Enders is really fast-paced for the most part. But, I love giant mech stuff. But yeah, there are a lot of things that get wrong. So hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's good.
They have a bunch of, like multi-platform sports games coming to Switch. I mean, that's not really a big deal, at least for us anyway. Starlink Battle for Atlas will be out October 16th, and you can get exclusive Star Fox missions with that, I guess.
So I saw the Star Fox trailer. It really confused me because I thought it was a new Star Fox game. Because I didn't see the direct, I just saw the video, and I was like, oh, I'll watch the new Star Fox thing, and it was these humans, and I was like, this isn't Star Fox, and I was really confused for a while.
Yeah.
So I need to read up more on that, because Starlink might be cool, I don't know.
There are a shit ton of Final Fantasy games coming.
Yes, I saw that.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered is coming to the Switch.
It's cool, that's super cool, because that's really hard to play now, because you gotta get a GameCube and link cables, and Game Boy Advances to like use as controllers.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. They're putting online play in that. That's gonna be awesome. And they went. It's cool. They went right down the line. I'm sorry to
No, it's fine.
talk over you. It's cool. They went right down the line. All the Final Fantasy games in a row. 7, and then right after that's 9.
Yeah, they
and
totally
10,
skipped 8.
And then
They just let 8 out completely.
yeah, and I know they haven't remastered that one. I don't think they put that one on PC, didn't
Well, here's the thing, though. The ones that are 7, 9, and 10,
they? Yeah.
I don't think are remastered. I think they're just like the games that are.
I think it's tough because they said in the trailer it was like play 7, 8, or 7, 9, and 10 remastered, and I don't know if they meant 7, 9, and then just 10 remastered.
I think that's what it is.
But I don't know. They have to at least be the. What I mean by remastered is like the versions they put on PS4.
Like upscales.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Obviously,
okay.
they didn't fully remaster those two yet.
Yeah, I got you.
If they ever will, but they, I'm pretty sure they're at least the upscale versions that are on the PS4 because those are technically remasters.
Yeah, so it says in 2019, Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, and Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 are coming to Switch.
Yeah. And World of Final Fantasy, which I don't know a whole lot about that one. That one's new.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it, but that's just me. Interesting. Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD. I'm assuming they basically made this for the Switch because it couldn't run the actual game. Like, is that
well, the Pocket Edition's for the phone. You can play on the phone.
Oh. Yeah. But I still feel like the Switch...
The Pocket Edition HD is for the Switch.
I see. But I still feel like some of that has to be because the Switch would have had a hard time with that game.
I'm sure.
Right?
Yeah, I'm sure it would.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Rob, Civ Sticks on the Switch. I mean, you guys play it on your PC. But
I play it on PC because you can play with all the mods.
As well as Cities Skylines, which you also just probably play on your PC.
Play on PC. It has all the mods.
New RPG by our friends at Game Freak. It's just called Town.
Sounds
cool.
That's the working title. Town.
What is Game Freak ever made outside of Pokemon?
That's probably all they've made.
I don't know, honestly. I'm sure they've made something else, but I don't know what it is. That
working Yoshi game that we knew about for a while, but we didn't know like its name. It's gonna be Yoshi's Crafted World. It looks pretty cool.
Okay.
Tabletop games, whatever. Oh,
a lot in this direct.
I know, yeah.
A lot.
The Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Bundle. So basically, they're making a console with the Smash characters on the dock.
Okay.
And I really want it, but I already have a Switch, so I mean, I'm not gonna buy another one.
Buy me the Switch.
Okay.
No, buy me the Switch.
And then that's the whole plan.
Yeah. And then I'll give you my old dock.
You buy the
And then
new
I'll
bundle
keep
and give me your old bundle.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
Deal struck. That's how you do that.
Since we both want it, you just buy 2.
And finally, they ended it with a bit of a curveball because a lot of people were hoping for a new Animal Crossing. And at first, they just revealed that Isabelle will be a Smash character.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But then they did end it by confirming there will be a new Switch Animal Crossing game next year.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. We've been waiting for that since the one on GameCube.
Yes.
For a long time ago. 2001, I think?
The last one was on 3DS, right?
Dude, they've all pretty much been on handhelds for a long time. So everyone's all pumped about that. So that's pretty much it. Dude, it was a really good direct. It was a really good showing for them.
Yeah.
So I guess that's really all we have. If you guys want to read these games, we'll call it a day.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to go to our last segment where we read the back of an older game. We were reading PS1 games, but we had to step it up a little bit because I'm running out of games.
We're on to the next.
Running, especially ones with funny text on the back. So we're going to read these real quick. I got Project Snowblind for the original Xbox. Gonna cover Sean's face. So I haven't played this one yet. I bought it in a bundle on eBay. I think I bought. I forget what game I bought mainly that I wanted out of it, but it came with a bunch of extra games, and this was one. I've never played this one. Project Snowblind. The quote directly on the back from Game Informer is "the future of war." It says the outcome of experimental battlefield surgery is something more than human. A unique weapons-grade warrior, Nathan Frost, now has the abilities that far surpass human physical limits.
Frost, Snowblind.
Get it? Boo.
They did it, not me.
Help me. Sent deep beyond the front lines, Frost and a handful of men are the best chance against the world's next terrorist sovereign. In a last attempt to restore peace, war shall rage.
Wow.
So yeah, and then instead of normally the games will have like pictures on the back with like little things of text underneath explaining some features. This has those pictures, but instead it has quotes from magazines underneath each picture. Like it has a picture of him using a gun, and it says Electronic Gaming Monthly said, "All those weapons mean the possibilities are up to your imagination." But
Imagination.
in the middle, the quote from XBN, which is Xbox Network National, I don't know. Unabashed balls to the wall action. And then a source that just called Play said unprecedented stream of battlefield chaos.
Oh, no.
So this game's pretty serious. GMR said a ridiculous number of weapons, gadgets, and abilities. So they could have wrote that themselves, but the company could have just wrote, there's a lot of weapons in this game, but they wanted you to know that GMR said it. I don't know what GMR is.
They probably went out of business like 15 years ago.
Probably. Game, magazine, read it, please.
Right.
It's one word.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. I'll have to check this out at some point, because it sounds pretty intense since the outcome of experimental battlefield surgery is something more than human.
More human than human. In honor of the Katamari remaster, Rabia, take it away.
Alright, we got, is it We Heart Katamari or We Love Katamari?
I think it's We Love.
Alright, we got We Love Katamari for the PlayStation 2. The quirky gameplay that captivated the world returns to roll up anything and everything that gets in your way.
Keep rolling.
God.
Yeah.
Roll up new objects and different objectives. Experience all new levels and environments. All new creative design and music soundtrack. All new 2-player co-op mode and expanded battle mode. Wow.
Yeah.
Here's the story, alright. The king of all cosmos grew to stardom after replacing the stars with the Princess Katamari's. In response to this newfound fame, the king is out to appease his fans with the help of the prince and his cousins. Now they are tasked with rolling up even more clumps, even larger and more different than the ones before. From our friends at Namco.
Hey there! Back up!
Boy. Sean,
Wow.
This has online multiplayer. Would you play with me if you bought an Xbox?
If you buy me an Xbox, I'll play it with you.
Would you trade me for a Switch?
Maybe. We'll see how many NES games they add onto their store.
At least 5 more.
Whoop-de-doo, Basil. Alright, well, that'll do it for episode 26 of the Console Space Podcast. We're hoping to get in another band soon for another episode of Chords and Consoles. Check out the first 3. It's pretty much the same format, but we get together with the band, we talk games, we talk their music, other things. And also, as mentioned earlier, check out Game Day Gameplay. We are at the beginning of the NFL season, and hockey is also just around the corner, as well as the NBA too, I guess. So check it all out. Check out all of our shows. There's more than one now, because we're just awesome.